Today I'm going to be talking about the amazing history and the adventures of Every day, you're given a choice that you unknowingly pass up. Now, sometimes it's good that you pass up on this choice because you have responsibilities. But if you keep saying no to this, it can cause you a lot of grief and heartache. I'll be explaining what I mean after we get to the river, which it'll be interesting because I've never been here before.
I'll admit, we were a little bit careless on this trip. We didn't have a map and we hadn't seen a map, and we were really just following the trail, hoping we would get to where we thought we were.
I got no idea where I am. But I'd imagine as long as you stay on the trail, it should be fine. This is getting a little... Well, it's either a dog or something bigger. Let's just say it's a dog. Well, the creek's getting bigger. Hopefully we're heading in the right direction. Well, at least we know where we're at right now. We're at East Palisades 23. Gotta go further north, get to East Palisades 17 and 16. By that time we'll be right by the river. So
I was beginning to think that we were lost, and even considering just turning around and going home. But luckily, perseverance pays off.
This right here is the Chattahoochee River. It goes on for over 400 miles, and it actually flows all the way into the Gulf of Mexico. And you see, Georgia wasn't home to only the Cherokee. There was a lot of different types of Native Americans, a lot of different tribes. There's the Chateau, the Cherokee, the Chiyah, the Chickasaw, and that's not even half of them. But today what we're going to be talking about is the Cherokee and the Creek. Not this creek, that's a river. The Cherokee tribe and the Creek tribe.
The Creek Indians were known to have lived in large towns with large communities. These towns would be almost completely self-sufficient and need almost no assistance from neighboring tribes. When the town grew large enough, the Creek Indians would choose to split up. Some would stay and some would go, so that way they could establish a new self-sufficient town 10 to 20 miles away, giving each other room to grow. They weren't too unlike the Cherokee in these respects. However, they were still separate tribes with separate beliefs. And this river, the Chattahoochee River, was one of their dividers. Not necessarily right here, because this river goes all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. The Chattahoochee River is over 400 miles long. It is an absolute beast of a river. Now, if you're paying attention, you probably realize there's still a few more minutes to the video, and it seems like that's all there is to say. Well, first let me tell you that one decision that you pass up each day. The option of doing something you're afraid of is usually ignored in an attempt to remain comfortable. Keep doing what is comfortable, and one day you'll end up with more regret than fear of the unknown. And before we go on, I just want to say something real quick. There's one little bit of info I left out. I wasn't even sure if it was actually here. For those of you that have been here before, you've probably heard of the bamboo forest. For those that haven't, I'm sure you're wondering, what? A bamboo forest in Georgia? Well, after this entire trek, we hadn't seen any bamboo whatsoever, and I was about to give up, but luckily, our faithful, dauntless cameraman, Connor, urged me to keep walking even further. Finally, after what felt like hours of walking, we made it there. I wouldn't call it a bamboo forest as much as a bamboo patch. I'd also find the first tree that refused to let me climb it, and I accepted defeat on this one. We both came to the agreement that they probably stripped the bark of this tree due to the people like me climbing it and getting hurt. This is the first of many new adventures that we'll be having on this channel. So if you're new here, go ahead and subscribe, and make sure to click the bell icon so that way you don't miss out on any of the future adventures. Like, for instance, next week, when I tell you what happened after I was eaten by that Uktena, and the story of the Nunyehi.